I just saw Spider-Man. I'm just gonna talk out, guys. This is gonna have a lot of spoilers. If you haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home, brace yourselves. I'm gonna spoil it. Good and deep black. Go see it first, guys, and then come back. Hey guys, welcome back to the Nerd Hangout. Today, me and my brother are gonna watch Spider-Man and we're gonna talk about it, guys. Oh yeah! Let's go. Finally, we're so excited. I'm about to cry. I'm wearing my Spider-Man t-shirt. I've watched all the old Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's, the Amazing Spider-Man. Josh, I can't breathe. His asthma is kicking in. Jordan, did you see the other Spider-Man also? No. Not yet. I don't have a blog. I'm just kidding. I mean, we're really excited. I don't know if we're going to use this footage for the Nerd Hangout, but probably am, because we're just going to talk about it, but it's going to be cool. We're so excited. Yeah. Yeah. Yay!
And here we go.
I just saw Spider-Man. Oh my god, it was good. I mean, like, I needed to sink in. I gotta watch out so I don't drive on some people here. Get out of the way! So what would I say about the movie? How would I describe it? How would I say it when I think about it in one expression or a word? It would be something like, oh my god! It was amazing. It was amazing. The Amazing Spider-Man. See what I did there? The amount of emotions in that movie, it's staggering. I mean, I'm a grown-ass man watching that, tearing up, and I don't know, it had everything, guys. Everything we've been talking about for so long, it had it. I'm about to go down on the power on the phone, so I gotta continue this talk in a later moment, guys. But go see the movie. As my brother and I agreed on, this is the best movie we have ever seen. I'm not exaggerating. It's still amazing. What can I say, man? The expectations were so high. They exceeded. I mean, like, it was a work of art. Yeah. The movie was just okay. Words will not do it justice. I mean, we expected the world of that movie. I ate so much shit in the movie theater. I feel disgusting. I mean, you love it. You just love it. Going to IMAX, watching a movie like Spider-Man No Way Home, popcorn, cola, all the snacks. And I've actually been on a kind of a diet, working out. I feel so violated. When you get all that junk inside, it's amazing when you do it, but afterwards, I feel like a calorie hoe. I'm a hoe. It's kind of hard to go into all the details because the movie, it had so much. I need to see, and I need to sleep on it, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit more about it. But like we said, this is one of the best movies ever, guys. Okay, yeah, so now there's been going a couple of days since I watched the Spider-Man movie. I have traveled all the way from Denmark to the Faroe Islands, and I've let it all sink in now. And yeah. Hey, by the way, have you seen the view here in the Faroe Islands? Check it out, guys. Just take a minute, guys, and take in this sight of my home country, Faroe Islands. Beautiful nature and a wonderful place to celebrate Christmas and New Year's. Anyways, like I said, it all has been now sinking a little bit in. I watched it on Friday. It is Tuesday today. So I'm here in my parents' house where I grew up as a child. And I think I'm gonna sit down and talk to you guys a little bit about the Spider-Man movie. And the hype for the movie has been going on for so long now. The entire year we've talked about it. I think it's been the most controversial subject on the internet this entire year. Out of any Marvel movie, I think this is the most talked about, with theories and ideas and anticipations about what the movie will be about. Probably just as much as Endgame and Infinity War, if not even more. I just want to brew myself some coffee so I can enjoy that as we talk. Maybe get a little comfortable. I think I'm going to set the computer up here. Yeah, before I go back to my sister's where we sleep. We're going to celebrate Christmas and New Year's there. So I just took a moment here in my parents' house so I can do this video. So yeah, the big question will be, did it live up to our expectations? I think the way that I have been speechless says it all. Admit it, and oh man, did it exceed it. I think it will be the best movie ever for millennials to watch. The nostalgia of it all is just uncanny. Where we have filters. Found them. Now, one of the first major superhero movies that made it was Spider-Man after the cross new millennia and X-Men. Of course, we have our old Superman and Tim Burton's Batman. They were awesome, but they were in a different era. Very cool. That's also why we're going to be very excited for the upcoming Flashpoint movie, of course. But yeah, there were a lot of theories about the Spider-Man movie, what it would be about, and I don't want to talk too much about that, but many of them were very right. But yeah, the movie is straight after Far From Home. It just continues. Oh yeah. But like we said, me and Kjerstan, this is, I think, the best movie we've ever seen. but I think it will mean more for us millennials than for a lot of other people, especially Marvel fans, because of the nostalgic aspect of it. And we have come to the point now. Yes, all the Spider-Man movies are in it, and the feeling when you're sitting in the cinema and you watch Andrew Garfield come out, take off his mask. Everyone was cheering. My brother said he had got a lump in his throat. I did as well. And the guy sitting next to me, I didn't even know him, was crying. And we're all grown as men, so it's funny how that can do things to us. But it was emotional roller coaster. You were so excited, and like I mentioned also before, when Dane Cook's Daredevil came. It was such a small role, but it was so amazing because I have, since I saw the Netflix Daredevil series, always wanted them to join the MCU. And I think he plays the Daredevil so good. It's such an awesome role for him. He was born to play that role. And now as we're watching Hawkeye and the actor playing Kingpin in the Daredevil series, Netflix Daredevil series, plays him so good. And that he's going also to cross over to the MCU is going to be so amazing. So yeah, we saw that role, and it was cool. I think that was the first acknowledgement that we saw until all the enemies crossed over. Like we saw in the trailer, Doctor Strange tried to make this spell to make everybody forget about Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and Tom Holland Spider-Man kept interrupting because he wanted to make changes to the spell and making sure that not everybody will forget about him, because first Mary Jane and then his friend and then Aunt May, I mean everybody, and then it fucked up the spell because he had to adjust the spell the entire time as mid spell casting, and it was catastrophic and it blew up. So yeah, now the spell broke into the multiverse so that people who knew who Spider-Man was, that he was Peter Parker, came into that universe, the MCU universe, and that's how they came there. That means that William Dafoe's Green Goblin came, and it was so amazing when he came. Okay, but before I get to that, Otto Octavius came from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and I watched all the Spider-Man before watching this one, and it was so cool that you could see the Doc Ock almost acting like he came directly from Spider-Man 2, right before he died. Still talking about the power of the sun in the palm of my hands. And yeah, it was it was amazing. And of course he came out and took Peter Parker and said, "Do you think that your fancy new suit will save you?" Because he only knows him from the second Spider-Man of Sam Raimi, right? And then he takes his mask off and then says, "Who are you? You're not Peter Parker." And then you just knew that he was from the other universe, and it was awesome. And there is where Green Goblin's laugh comes, and the pumpkin bomb from the Green Goblin comes, and you see William Dafoe. I mean, William Dafoe is like born for this role. It was so cool, man. And they said also one of the theories before the movie came out was that he was going to have the original suit, the comic book with the green hood. And when we saw him in the trailer, he didn't have that. The first scenes he didn't have that. But then you saw that he took his mask off and he was still this split personality. So he was still Norman Osborn and the Green Goblin persona. And he tried, I don't know if it was manipulation from the entire time. I don't think so. I think that Norman Osborn tried to fight his evil side, but the Green Goblin had more control of him the entire time and probably just used Norman Osborn to get more knowledge about this universe or this timeline of this universe. And he had a purple hoodie on and it looked so good. And there is there's the connection. There's how it's gonna look like the comic book version of the Green Goblin, and I loved it. Oh yeah, then of course all the guys from Andrew Garfield Spider-Man come as well. and you see Electro, but he looks completely different. And you get an explanation why he isn't this blue, just pure energy like he looks in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and you see also that his hair doesn't look the same. And the funny part is that people were addressing how does he not look the same, and Lizard also, who is from that universe, also addressed it, and that was funny. Everybody laughed. I mean, this movie just kept on giving and giving and giving. Then you meet Sandman, like I said, Lizard. So all the enemies are there, and Doctor Strange said Tobey Maguire to go and catch them all and send them back, and he will learn at one point that they are all destined to die. And he is struck by a dilemma, because after a talk with Aunt May also, who believes that everybody has a second chance, and William Dafoe also talks about this destiny and convinces him that they are people who just need to be heard, need to be understood, and have a second chance and change. And Tom Holland's Spider-Man really wants to help that. So there's a conflict between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man about this, and Spider-Man actually tries to help them out. And he breaks them all out of prison. They were all in prison, by the way, by Spider-Man, who got this magic bracelet, and he just shoots them once and they are transported into the sanctuary prison. And he gets them all and also breaks them all out and actually traps Doctor Strange. Now there's of course a pursuit between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, but I'm not going to talk too much about that. You gotta go see the movie if you want to see how that plays out. It's kind of cool. Now, when I re-watched all the Spider-Man movies, I've always liked Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man the best. But when I saw Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man again, I kind of fell in love with it again. Because I think he's such a cool Peter Parker. He plays this nerdy version of Peter Parker so well. And I love that Mary Jane looks more like Mary Jane from the comics, the red hair. And compared to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, where she doesn't look anything like it. But after seeing No Way Home, it kind of makes me understand it, because this is a different timeline, so it's okay. Her name isn't even Mary Jane, it's still MJ, but with a different initial. And that makes sense in the multiverse, where there are so many, it's the same, but not the same, because people have different roles, different names, but they're still Peter Parker, they're still, I mean, it makes sense in that aspect. So there is also a Gwen Stacy there who looks different, as there is a Gwen Stacy in Sam Raimi's Spider-World, and there is also one in Andrew Garfield's Spider-World where she dies. And there, Andrew Garfield plays this so good in No Way Home, because he's still emotional from what happened to her. And there's this very touchy scene where all the Spider-Man try to talk to Tom Holland's Spider-Man about not getting too vengeful and not be filled with too much hatred when Aunt May dies in this world, where in the other two worlds it is actually Uncle Ben. And they all just talk about that hurt and how the hatred consumes them and turns them and makes them do horrible things. And they really try to talk him out of it. And they talk about losing Uncle Ben, and they talk about losing Gwen Stacy and stuff like that. So it was really cool. All the scenes with all three Spider-Men when they were talking to each other was so funny. They made it in such a funny way. Even discussions that we have about the differences between the Spider-Mans, they talk about themselves. For example, that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man shoots it out of his body, which has been a huge topic in debate in comments. So that was very fun. But to be honest, when you look at now at reactions of Spider-Man and other people on the net, on YouTube, talk about the other Spider-Man, the one who's most addressed is actually Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. People thought that when they saw Tobey Maguire, their minds are going to blow. But I noticed this too as well, but when you saw Andrew Garfield, people exploded in the movies, people were tearing up, because they knew now what we all have been expecting was going to happen, and we were getting it, and it's going to be amazing. And you know what, he really played that role good. He really played like this guy who wants the other guys as friends. And my brother said that people say that Tobey Maguire's is the best Peter Parker, but Andrew Garfield is the better Spider-Man. Yeah, maybe. I think I kind of like them all in different ways. I always liked the Amazing Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I know there's a lot of controversy about those two movies, because the people who feel they're so loyal to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, feel that it sucks, but I never agreed to that. Not me. Not to take away from Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is amazing. It will always be what it is, and I love those movies. Spider-Man 2 was the best Spider-Man movie that I've ever seen until this one, because this movie just kicks them all out of the park. Tom Holland's Spider-Man also plays Spider-Man really good. He plays Peter Parker really good. He's gullible, who talks and jokes all the time, and you get that from the comic books as well. So he plays that really good, but he's never been my favorite Spider-Man, to be honest. And I really didn't like that Mary Jane didn't look like anything like Mary Jane. Now I feel, okay, I understand. It makes sense, because this is a different timeline. It gives an explanation for that, as it does for so many other things. And there were actually also talk about that this will open up doors for also making more of the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. Maybe not only in the MCU universe, but in his own. That would be cool. There is a possibility for that now. So yeah, when we get this movie, we get all the enemies, and we get Tom Holland, we get Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And I don't know how much I could say more about it. I've never watched a movie that had me so emotionally involved. Not even Star Wars, The Force Awakens, and it had a lot from the old Star Wars movie from us. For me, especially people from my age. You saw how Kevin Smith reacted. He was a mess. And this movie did the same for us. I wasn't crying that hard, but it really got to us. So yeah, like I said before, with the Disney Plus series, things are really looking up for the Marvel. And I do believe, again, it is time to be excited for the future of Marvel. I can't wait to see She-Hulk. I can't wait to see Blade, and I can't wait to see how the X-Men are going to be introduced into the MCU. This movie was an excellent, grand finale of the year 2021 when it comes to movies. Now I know we haven't had a lot in this year because of Corona and social distancing and cinemas closing and stuff like that, but it had so much to live up to. The movie would flop major or be the major success that it is. I think this is going to be the movie that we're going to talk about for years to come. I can't see how any movie could top this in the MCU. But we are excited for 2022, what DC is going to give us. Can't wait for Matt Reeves' Batman. And what else is going to come. After seeing Loki, about all the timelines and the multiverse and the post-credit scene from No Way Home Spider-Man, what we're going to see in Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness, Wanda, who has become the Scarlet Witch. It's going to be exciting, guys. Anyway guys, this is all I have for this episode. Go watch the movie, you won't regret it. It's a masterpiece. And from here, from the Nerd Hangout, I'm gonna say hi from my brother also, who does so much with me, and it's so fun for him to be involved so much in the Nerd Hangout. We've been going on now for 1.5 years, so it's the best hobby I've ever done, and I hope all of you are well. Be careful now, the corona is blushing up again, and I really wish you all a happy new year. So keep gaming, nerds, keep being nerds, keep being true to yourself. I know I am way too old to be this into gaming and games and cartoons and superheroes, but you know what, I am never gonna stop. I love it, and I am not ashamed of it. So yeah, thank you for the day, nerds. Goodbye.